Today's show is brought to you by audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30 days free trial by going to howtokillanhour.com/free.
That's right. howtokillanhour.com/FREE.
That's right. Now, to get stuck into over 180,000 titles for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. So that is howtokillanhour.com/free.
You serious?
Welcome to How to Kill an Hour. I'm Marcus Bronzy.
And I am Ace. What's going on?
Man, plenty of ways to kill an hour out there, but right now you are killing one with us. I just want to say thank you to all of those who are subscribing and rating and commenting on iTunes, you know.
Yeah, I'm loving the reviews, man.
That's right. Also, when you subscribe with us, you get access to exclusive new bits, including a video I put up last night of Snapchat's update.
Yeah.
It's mad.
I can't get it because I've got an old phone. You're not supposed to laugh.
And also, I got to apologise, Ace. I got to apologise.
Why?
For the glitch on iTunes that made us the top technology podcast and the #1 spot in iTunes.
Whoa! We're moving, fam.
Ace thinks I bribed somebody. But
I feel like you did Nigerian 419, but we'll take it. It's fine.
I didn't. I don't even know it.
Man.
I've not even.
You got the link. Get me more followers on Instagram.
I've not even eaten an apple in the last week. I'm not going to lie to you, bruv. But yeah, thank you very much. Keep commenting, subscribing and rating us, and obviously the more people that get involved in the show, the more love we will get. So what have you been up to this week, Ace?
I've been recovering
from
I don't know, some kind of Ibiza throat chesty thing. I got a swollen elbow and I've been coughing and stuff.
A swollen elbow. You got raving flu and a swollen elbow.
I kind of read up about my elbow. It feels like there's like some kind of fluid in it. It's weird. Like it feels pregnant. Like it's hard. I know an elbow is supposed to be hard, but it's like enlarged.
Did you have sex with your elbow without a condom?
I don't understand what that means. Oh, because it's pregnant. No, that's not what happened. But yeah.
You do sound a lot better than last week because you sounded tired.
Last week I was mash up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. This week I'm still a bit croaky, but I'm back, man.
You're back.
I'm back.
Back in the building.
Yeah.
So how to KillABit? What's yours this week?
This week I'm back on reality shows again. Sorry, Love and Hip Hop just started. Hip Hop Hollywood, and oh my god, there's a gay couple.
All right.
Ray J's girlfriend is probably the best looking female on the TV at the moment.
Yeah.
Her name's Princess Love. Do your Googles. And it's just ratchet, man. Good TV.
Why are you into this ratchet TV so much for? What do you get from it?
I think it makes me feel good about my own life.
What, self-worth?
Yeah, self-worth.
People look so terrible on TV
Yeah.
that friggin' you got to get love off watching it. So that's what you've got for this week, yeah?
Yeah.
That's how you've been killing time. Really? KillABit again?
Yeah, man.
Trash TV?
Trash TV. It's the #1.
You know you are what you eat, what you consume, right? Do you think that some of it's going to rub off on you? Who else has gone a bit funny off reality? Are you going to end up doing like a sex movie or something like that?
No, I can't do that.
Why?
Have you ever seen... I'm going to say it. Have you ever watched yourself having sex before?
Yeah, all the time.
No, not like in the motion. Like, have you ever filmed yourself having sex and then watched it after?
Does looking in the mirror count?
No.
Nah.
Because in the moment, you probably feel like you're Lexington Steele or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you go back and watch it, you don't look...
You're like Mr. Bean.
You look crazy. Like, I did it one time and I do this weird thing with my hand. And it's like, why the hell are you doing that? Like, why is that hand doing that? It's like, my hand it's weird. Don't do it.
What did you do with your hand?
Okay, so like you're going in, yeah, but my hand, for some strange reason, I don't even know why it's my right hand, is just doing nothing. Like, it's not like holding or it's not slapping. It's just like doing weird things. It's very
chilling.
strange. Like, if it's almost like, I'm not even gonna go there, but yeah, I can't. No, so I would never do a sex tape. I wouldn't want anybody else to see that because I've seen myself having sex and it doesn't look good.
I think it would do numbers, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, not good numbers. It'd probably be like people like the first comedy sex tape. Like, I don't want people to have laughs off me.
But if it did numbers, like if somebody said to you, "We'll
it's always about numbers, Marcus, man."
I think it can change people's opinions.
It's always about markers.
If somebody threw a bill at you and said, do it, you would have done the sex tape and sent it to them by the end of the day.
I think it depends on who the other person is as well.
For $1 billion? Subo?
No, man. No one's going to want to see that. No one wants to see that.
There's always a market for stuff like
No
that.
one wants to see
There's
that.
a weird world of freakiness on the internet.
No one wants to see that.
Anyway, my KillABit for this week is so much more sensible than yours, bruv. But I've not got into it yet.
What is
it's
it?
not being released. iOS 9, man. I'm waiting for that on my
iOS 9.
on my iPhone, yeah.
Okay.
Because you get the middle finger emoji.
Right.
So for all of those waiting to say fuck you to their friends with an emoji, they can now do it.
I think this is really irresponsible of Apple.
There
How many
is
kids have got phones now?
everyone.
So why would they need the middle finger emoji?
You know, honestly, it's been on Android for a little while, so I reckon they're just like, well, we can do it too.
Oh, okay.
And they got a taco one as well, but I don't know how to cuss anyone with a taco.
Weird.
Yeah.
Very strange.
That's my KillABit for this week.
Okay.
And I've been playing a game called Crossy Road app. Check it out, that's fun.
Crossy Road app.
Yeah, it's about some birds crossing the road.
Interesting.
It's like one finger and you make birds cross the road, and it's fun as well.
When does do the new emojis come out, by the way?
The new emojis drop on us probably the same day this podcast drops.
Okay. So they're out now.
Out right now.
Yes.
So you can middle finger anyone.
Leave a review with a middle finger emoji.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our KillABit for this week.
There you
But
go.
we've got a guest in here. He likes to kill a bit of time.
Yeah.
I don't know how he finds any. Introduce yourself, bro.
Kojo's in the building. What's going on?
Kojo's in the house.
Gee.
Going on?
Bruv, I'm with my squeaky chair. I'm just happy that you spent time to come here and see us, bruv, because you seem to be moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour right now.
Man, I'm moving at 1,000,000 miles per hour so that I never have to move again.
Do you sleep?
Okay. No, I'm going to answer for you. You don't sleep.
I do.
How many hours do you get a night?
Listen, man, you know, I used to do breakfast shows.
Yeah.
I'm cool with 4 hours. In a
You can
day,
do 4 hours.
That's all I'm used to now.
Do you know
Wow.
what? I
4
actually
hours
think-
sleep, man.
I think there's two of you. I think there's two Kojos, and one of them does day 12 hours, and the other one does night 12 hours, or maybe one's in LA and one's here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But
Yeah.
they both got bills to pay. So.
For real, double bills.
Yeah.
Double bills.
Double bills. But for those who don't know who you are, who are you, Kojo? Like, what do you do?
Stand-up comedian first. I think that's been my entrance into the industry and allowed me to do other things. Also an author now, radio presenter, TV presenter, what else? Actor,
Yeah.
writer.
Everything,
I think that was
basically.
it, man.
Yeah, everything.
Kind of guy. How did you get into the comedy stuff, though?
Well, there was a workshop called the Comedy School that Rudy Liquid, comedian from Northwest London, he's kind of like looking for that new talent to get on the scene. I'd been in America working with kids at Camp America
Yeah.
because I wanted to be a teacher as well, and
You wanted to be a teacher?
that was my backup plan. It's football, innit? Come on. That was it. Like I was football. I was even now. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I talk more about football than anything else.
Yeah.
I get into the most abusive football conversations on Twitter, boy. But my backup was always like teaching, and had a weekend off. Went to a place called Best Buy. Saw Martin Lawrence doing stand up. But when I bought the DVD, I thought it was video. Sorry, what am I lying for?
VHS.
On Netflix.
When I purchased the
VHS.
cassette tape. So you know you lost like a lot of young viewers. Like, what the hell? Yeah, what gadget is this? So basically, I remember Martin Lawrence from a house party.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a movie. I thought it was his own film, and then it was him on stage telling jokes.
What was House Party again?
That was Kid and Play.
I'm just playing.
Oh,
I'm
right.
being the youngers again. I'm being the youngers out here.
Mate.
That dance that you see being done at house parties.
Right, yeah.
Is the house party dance.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
So Martin Lawrence on the stage telling jokes, but I still didn't even know it was called stand-up. I didn't know what it was. I just remember I was just dying. But what is like 10 minutes in, I just saw myself on the stage doing the same thing. So then I was like, what is this? I want to do this. This is what I want to do. Didn't know what it was. I came back, learned a bit more about it, the business side of it, and also the different aspects. Because when I tell people I went to the comedy school, they feel like, oh, this someone teach you how to be funny, but no one can teach you how to be funny. But I think that going there is what separates me from a lot of people, because I learned the business side of it, and I also learned the little things like what's the first thing people see about you, like self-awareness. I think if you control what people see about you, then you're in control of whether they laugh or not more. You know what I mean? So like, for example, my first thing would normally be my smile. That's the first thing that engages an audience, and then the rest of it is whatever I've got to say, really. So those little techniques, I think, you know, it's like, I always say, it's like, you know, there's loads, we've all got funny friends that aren't comedians.
Yeah.
But like, for me, that's driving without a license. You can drive, but you're not licensed to drive.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I think stand-ups licensed drivers, like you've actually, you know, perfected your art, and you're still kind of, you know, learning along the way, really. So,
What was your set like in the early days? Is it very different to how you are now?
my set really was, you know, I was this young African kid, do you know what I mean? So
Right.
for me, I kind of, at the time, maybe like Kojo was doing it.
Okay.
Genie, Asheray, no one else really. And for me, I just kind of wanted to kind of maybe come from my angle. But it was very simple stuff, and I remember I had like this 5-minute routine that I'd learned for like 2 months, but I'd never performed it.
Right.
So by the time I did perform it, I looked like I'd been doing it for a long time.
Right.
But that was more frustration out of not being able to perform anywhere
Right.
and actually getting it out. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So again, because I learned the technique of how to just keep going over the joke, taking away words that, you know, make it get longer to the joke. Do you know what I mean? It's like you just want to be able to just be precise with what you're saying. So so a lot of it was like, you know, just being a young African in the UK, basically.
Was you getting laughs straight away, or did you die?
The first show I ever did, this first show I ever done, I walked on stage. I remember they called me up on stage, and then I was so nervous. But I thought, with me, I do extra when I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So I must have done some funny walk to the stage, innit? Yeah. And then people goes, oh, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? And then I went on stage and I was like, oh yeah, where's all my Nigerians? And the place went nuts, yeah. And I was like, you lot are all chiefs, I'm Ghanaian. And that went boom.
Serious?
That was boom. That was it. And then
Wow.
from then I just had them. But I had like 3 jokes then. Like,
Oh,
do you know what I
wow.
mean? Like, but you know, in comedy, 3 jokes can be really long if it's awful.
Wow.
But that's all I really had at the time. But that was my first joke that I ever said on stage, and it was also kind of like my icebreaker. I thought, how can I get them on my side immediately before they want to hear what I got to say, kind of thing. So, because in comedy, I think you got 2 seconds, man. Literally, you got 2 seconds to engage people, or it's a wrap.
Because you've
it's
been doing
uphill.
it for real. You've been doing it for a while now, so I can ask you this: like, can that go wrong ever? Like,
What do you mean?
can a joke drop and you're just
Of course,
how do
all the
as a
time.
comedian, how do you get past that?
Because you, like, for me, it's like, why am I? You know, I look at it like this: why am I? Who are you to go on stage and tell a joke? Right? You must think it's funny. Do you know what I mean? So everything I say to me is hilarious. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Not everything to everybody else will be, but they haven't come to hear what they want. They've come to hear what I've got to say.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So for me, I have to make sure that what I think is hilarious or why I say it. Do you know what I mean? And there's, you know, sense of humor is very personal, so not everybody is gonna get your sense of humor or like your tone or whatever. But they haven't paid for their opinions. They've paid to hear what you have to say. And like it or not, they leave with an opinion about you, not what they like. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So for me, it's just more about what my stories are, what I've got to say, and hopefully the majority like it, but because not everybody will.
Cool. And how did you turn that? Obviously, it started off as something you were just pursuing because you loved it. How did that turn into a career for you?
I think it turned into a career when I became broke.
Wow.
Because remember, when I did stand up, I didn't even know there was money in it. I didn't know you can get paid. Like, I genuinely wanted to make people laugh, like even to today. Hence why sometimes I'll just turn up at a comedy club and just perform, because I still love that essence of just stand up. You see what I'm trying to say? And seeing if I can make this audience laugh. There's a different pressure when people know you and they come to expect a certain level. So you got to kind of meet that as well. So sometimes it's just good to just jump in unannounced and just see what the vibe is, you know. But for me, I feel like, yeah, just long as I'm kind of doing what I think is truthful to me, then it kind of goes down really well, really. So
Yeah, I gotta say, man, I came to the early comedy clubs, the Kojo's Funhouse and comedy, like them. What was it that made you want to start putting on your own events?
I think the thing that makes me want to do anything is the lack of it.
Right.
Like, if you really pay attention to my whole career, I'm doing things that should be done.
Right.
Not things that are, oh, I just want to do it because it's cool, or there's girls there, or like, I'm doing things that should be done. Most of the things that I do, I don't want to do them. You know what I mean? If there was like, if I'm in America where people do a lot of these things for you, then I wouldn't have to do a lot of the stuff that I've done. But again, I wouldn't be the person who I am now because now I've learned extra skills. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So I don't bemoan or like, be upset about all the stuff that I've had to do. But the comedy club was because I'm post Real McCoy. That's the biggest thing that we've probably ever had in terms of black comics on UK television. And if you weren't on that, you weren't doing Hackney Empire and all the big shows. So we had to kind of break away and build a new generation of people that were kind of frustrated, but through creativity.
What was the Real McCoy for those?
Real McCoy was a black sketch show. So if there was a reference in terms of American content, it'd be like a Black in Living Color, Saturday Night Live, that type of thing, a collective of black comedians who had been on the circuit and were doing sketches. You know what I mean? And they were household names and they were ramming out tours up and down the country. This way you ain't got no internet. So what you get sent is what you know. Now there's options everywhere. This is what I'm trying to say. People do comedy for 2 seconds and get a booking, a paid booking. But then it was like it came from what you was doing on television. This shit I'm trying to say. So
yeah.
So that's basically what it was. But if you weren't part of that generation, people don't know you. So why are they gonna come and pay money to see some people they don't know? So we broke away.
Why has there not been able to be a new room? Like I'm pretty sure this conversation has come up loads of times. Like, why is there not? There's like, I can think of 10 comedians now from the UK that I think are hilarious.
Yeah.
Why can't they just link up and put together a sketch show like that? Why this was like Real McCoy was like over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Why can't that happen today?
I think a lot of the reasons are people don't really rate black comedy.
Wow.
Well, I don't think they rate black comedians. I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't because you have to look at it as like, when we come into a room, we don't just fit in. We literally like are headlining most comedy clubs. So TV doesn't reflect what's going on in the comedy circuit. Because most of the black comics I know are headliners. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You go to a Jongleurs in Swindon and they leave, you leave the club saying, "Oh, you was my favourite."
Yeah.
That's not recorded. No one's mentioning that.
Right.
That's not the reflection. You see, the Apollo, and it's predominantly white comics, or now to fill the quota, it's Asian comics or Iranian comics, or do you know what I mean? Like, we're not on that elite. And it's not to say that there isn't there's nobody getting opportunities. But again, the people that are getting opportunities aren't people who have any depth. They're people just to fill a box. I've got this theory that that the BBC, for example, especially them, I have a theory that they pick people who aren't going to move furniture.
Right.
Meaning, okay, everybody's moaning there's no diversity. Let's give somebody a show. That person's had no history. They've got no fans. They've been set up to fail. When they do fail, then it's like, oh well, we gave him a chance, it didn't work.
And we tried.
But if you give someone like myself who's got a fan base, a solid one, I'm not coming here to be grateful. I'm coming here to move furniture around. Nope, we're not doing that. I'm gonna have opinions. They don't want that. Do you see what I'm trying to say? They don't want that, and I feel as though that's one of the battles that we're facing as black comics. But of late, just the other day, me, Eddie Caddy, Slim, Fumbi, Deliso, Champonda and Annette Fagan recorded Comedy Basement for ITV2, which comes out the week of the Mobos.
Okay.
So that's another step in the right direction. Being 35 years old, I can only look at that and go, and what after?
Yeah, yeah.
This shit I'm trying to say, so it's great. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be ungrateful, but what after? What was the reason for that? Because it's Black History Month? Like
Mobos is
yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're grateful for it, and hopefully they look at it and go, you know what, we need to see more of this. Do you know what I mean? So I can only look at that opportunity with hope that there's more.
Mad, because even as somebody that really enjoys comedy, and I look at how it works in the States, it's like you do comedy shows in the States, you start making a name, you get a buzz, you get a HBO special. If that does well, you get a comedy, you get a series. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it doesn't seem to happen that way in the UK. Like, your name's been ringing for time. Eddie did the O2 Arena. Like, after the O2 Arena, you should be straight on TV. After, you know what I mean? After everything you've achieved, you've done MTV, you've done you should be on TV straight away. So, and it doesn't happen that way. And I just look at the TV and think, why? Like, why is like what is the point?
Because there's people in this business who want to say they've done something. Now, I mean, look at a lot of the internet stars. Like, they're building their own thing. music stars nowadays, they're coming ready. You know what I mean? Like, there's no development money anymore. Like, that's all gone. So people want you ready. But then they want you ready, but then they also want to say, I found him, or I told him to do that. Do you see what I'm trying to say? There's that, because they have to look at their boss and say, well, why are you here? What have you actually done? Do you know what I mean? So they've got to answer, say, well, you know, I've actually found this person and I've made this show happen. So when you come to them like already done, it's like a blessing and a curse, because you get the opportunity, but sometimes it's like, if they don't feel as though they can have input, then they'll go to someone else who they feel they can. And I feel as though it should be as simple as you've just described it. That show leads to that show, leads to that movie, leads to... You see what I'm trying to say? Like, but there's a block there, because it's still run by the same people that were running it 50 years ago.
So you're saying the internet's good at getting you that fan base now, because you can touch with so many people, but you still think there's areas that need improvement in terms of...
I mean, you know, I'm at the stage now where, I don't like... I'm not bothered by things that are irrelevant, and I feel TV's irrelevant at the moment. Like, you can't tell me when to watch what I want to watch. I watch it in my own time now. So what is the benefit of being on television anymore? Why is that such a crazy thing? I feel like, you know, because of what I've been doing in terms of building content, writing content, if I go online with my stuff, I can guarantee you can see my numbers. TV, you can't. There's no evidence of it. Somebody can just say to you, oh, well, you only had this, but where's the evidence? Where's the physical evidence of how many people have watched my show? Because anyone can write anything down, but online it's fact. This show, well, I mean, it used to be. Do you know what I mean? But it's the closest thing you're going to get to how popular a show is, or how popular somebody is. Do you know what I mean? And for me, that's more of the direction that I'm more interested in, because brands don't want to pay for adverts that get skipped. They'd rather pay for a TV show and be the brand of it that's on for half an hour or an hour, because then more people are going to be seeing your product rather than skipping, because we all skip it. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So that's where I feel like a lot of the content is moving. It's moving online, YouTube. People are getting shows on YouTube, getting brands to sponsor it and getting mad hits. So I think I'm thinking ahead rather than what's now. And I think TV is dying, man.
How did you feel about the Javone Prince show?
Javone Prince show. I thought when he did phone shop.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Do you know what I mean? It was a popular show as well, because I remember I only found out about it because I was on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'd never watched it, and then I thought, let me check it out. So that's all I know him from. But again, it's like, you know, he's leaped who to get a show?
Yeah. A lot of people.
He's leaped who? Do you know what I mean? And then it's like, you know, because I know the ins and outs, and it's funny that when things like that happen, my phone rings.
Yeah. My
phone rings, and people say, what do you think? But I'm saying, why doesn't my phone ring when someone's getting a show? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, my thing is this, is that there's opportunities. There's a couple of other comedians who are getting shows, but my phone hasn't rung. There's certain people that I feel, if a black comedian gets a show, certain phones have to ring. My phone has to ring. Yeah. Slim's phone has to ring. Curtis Walker's phone have to ring. If none of those three phones ring, your show ain't doing well.
Right.
Fact.
Right.
Because no one's proven otherwise yet.
Yeah.
Because those people know what it takes. Even if you get the opportunity, and you may not have been in the game as deep as us or as long as us, that's irrelevant. Have that behind you, though. Do you know what I mean? Have that behind you so that you get another series. Nick Cannon is a perfect example. Cat Williams is funnier than him. D-Ray's funnier than him. Kevin Hart's funnier than him. But it's his show. Right. He didn't think, oh, they're funnier than me, I'm not going to put them on because they might steal my shine. It's his show. It says the Javone Prince show. It says Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out. Right. Cat Williams can't do an interview without mentioning Wild 'N Out. If he's being honest. But he's going to be a huge megastar, and Kevin Hart as well. So for me, it's like, there's that fear. When I had my Funhouse show on MTV, I brought everybody in. I didn't bring the mediocres. I brought the big ones. Yeah. Because it's my show. I'm not threatened by anybody. I want this show to come back and continue to be good. And we got about 8 shows out of that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But I feel like when people get shows, BBC tell them, no, you got to have this person and you got to have that person. And they're so happy for the opportunity that they say, yeah. But it's like you're sprinting in a long distance race that way. And I feel like you got to get what's real behind you, and then you get to explore and experiment.
So how do you feel about those?
Man.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it is interesting.
Because like my initial thought was, this would probably be like Kojo's show, But just the fact that you're saying, but right, they haven't even called me to come and be a part of this is more of a thing than them actually even calling me to do the show. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very, because they should. You're right.
When you think that comment, there's no one you think of before me.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's weird because like this is where we're at, and it's not even like, you know, I'm 35. It's just facts. It's all written down. When Kevin Hart comes to Wembley Arena in front of 12,000, I got the call to perform. When Dave Chappelle comes and does a tour, I toured with him. I got people like Doc Brown and all these Jimmy Carter and all them lot say, "Oh, bruv, how do you know Dave Chappelle?" These are people who are doing better than me in society's eyes. Do you understand what I'm saying? But their phones don't ring. Why? When Chris Rock comes to the UK, whose phone rings? My phone rings. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But these people don't pick up on that. It's like they overlook that. And I'm saying, for the fact that these things are happening and you don't know about it, people should be getting sacked.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. And I'm not sitting here saying I deserve a show and I must have a show. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of what I do is development for other people. You lot know me. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm working with other talents. It's not just Kojo's got his own show here. I just done a movie with no stars. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I've just done a movie with
I disagree with that a little bit.
I'm just saying. No, but I'm just saying like no household names.
Yeah.
But because I have faith in them. Someone else would be doing that. That's not my job. But I've had to make it my job. So I'm not sitting here saying or begrudging Javone Prince or whatever. You know, half of this business is about relationships. Maybe I don't have the right relationships. It's not all about what other people are doing. I have to look at myself sometimes as well and say, maybe I'm not making, because you don't see me out on a lot of parties anymore and red carpet. Because I'm not interested in that. I don't want to look good. I want to feel good. Do you know what I mean? And what I'm doing at the moment makes me feel good because I'm helping the next generation. So
it's interesting what you said about people like sort of leaping forward. How do you feel like this internet Vinehead stardom compares to people like yourself who's a comedian? You're a comedian, you are. How do you feel about people that are funny off 6 seconds or funny like got 'em and all that sort of stuff being considered the same level as yourself?
Listen, man, let me tell you, you know how hard it is to be any kind of funny? It's hard to be any kind of funny. So when people are doing the videos and all that other stuff, I just say, you got to do you. Listen, man, most of these people we've all got the same background of not having. So if you find a way to have, I can't knock you and say you're not a comedian because you haven't been on stage. Will Smith's a comedian to me, but he's not a stand-up comedian. There's different forms of comedy. And I support anybody who's got off their back and isn't out there doing foolishness, but is finding a way to be creative and build a brand for themselves. You know what I mean? And good luck to all of them. And hence why your A-Squeezies, your Jazzies and people like that who aren't stand-ups, Tolly who does Don't Jealous Me. I'm bringing them in and we're doing films. Because I have to find a way to utilize what they do because they're not stand-ups. There's only so many videos you can do before it gets whack and it gets a bit boring. And it's like, because not many people are making genuine money off it, and not over here anyway. No one ain't booking you to host a party or none of that stuff. It's like move on to the next one.
Yeah, so it's a big difference between here and the States. Like you can have a meme like the why you fucking he's now getting bookings, right? Whereas I don't see that happening over here in the UK. I don't think we've got enough.
I mean, because there's an element of fear in British people. Yeah. We don't really go in because we genuinely care what people think. Americans don't care what people think. They don't. They don't care, and that's why there's an element of respect to that because you that man will fully went in. You see all the videos of man's harming himself and doing backflips and smashing. We do it with caution. We wild out, but we wild out with caution. Americans don't. They do whatever it takes for the like.
Wow.
Anything for the likes.
They do.
Anything for the like.
They do. They do anything for the like, man.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen for the like recently?
Girls who I respected.
Wow.
Show, they lose. Good women are losing out here, bro. Oh my God. Good women are losing out here, B. They're in second place right now.
Serious.
I'm telling you, they're losing. And you know how they're losing? Because they're doing dumb shit. They're doing what girls that have nothing are doing.
Right.
I don't knock a girl that has nothing because listen, I ain't got shit. Let me do something to get myself some shit.
Right.
I don't knock that. It's when you know a girl's got more potential.
Yeah.
When I feel like I know you got more potential in you than just to do this shit. Do you know what I mean? You got people with Bible scriptures and then they got cleavage show.
Yeah, what is that about?
But this is what I'm trying, and ultimately it's like I'm not saying like I'm perfect and I don't mess up now and then. Like, we're all human beings, innit? But you can't all of a sudden, like, you can't be all holy and spiritual or whatever, and then next minute you know what I mean, it's just titties and arse shots and all of that stuff, and then you want people to respect you. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And there's a small group of people that you respect, and we all have them in our circle where you're like, right, like, that girl's just, she's slipping because she feels that I have to do something to keep up with the mojo. Do you know what I mean? Keep up with the flow and all these people that are getting so much attention. And it's all the loose ones.
Is there like the gap between the way they are in the States and the way they are in the UK? Is it getting smaller and smaller and smaller?
Girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it getting smaller?
Like in terms of like we see what's going on over there. I mean, we need to talk about your LA adventures anyway, but like in terms of what they do in the States to get likes, and there's Instagram models, and are we getting so much closer to that in the UK?
Do you know what it is? I feel like we're there. We're there. I think we're there, but we don't rate each other.
Right.
We don't rate each other, man. UK people don't rate each other. It's like there's different levels. There's a level of Stormzy's killing it, innit?
Yeah.
So you look stupid if you're not supporting him. You stand out now if you're not supporting him. Krypton Conan's album come out. You look stupid and you look like a hater if you don't post their thing. A lot of people think everybody that posted it wanted to. Let's be real. Let's be real for a minute.
No, you're right.
But if you don't, it stands out. If you say anything about Beyonce, it might be legit, but you look stupid saying it.
There are people that get terrorized. I think Kid Rock said something about Beyonce now on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Every single picture he posts. Is it you that told me that?
So there's like bees underneath the beehive.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but you look stupid saying it, and you might have facts and figures and everything, but you look stupid saying it.
Isn't that a shame though that people are giving into the peer pressure in that way?
Of course, but again, it's like for me, I just feel like, back to your point about the UK versus America, I just feel like once we start rating each other, like, I've heard Wretch's album, and I said, for me, he's on the level of J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar.
Jeez.
I'm not saying it because he's British. I'm saying it because he's a dope MC. I'm saying it because he's got bars and he's got that intelligence. But because he's English, people's like, whoa. We're the first ones to say it. We're the first ones to say it. It's not like Americans are saying, no, what you mean, man? Like, we're the ones that are going, whoa, because we don't rate ourselves. And if I can't rate Wretch, I can't rate myself. That's the way I look at it. That he's one of the best we've got.
100%.
And I hear his new album and it's music. It's not like just a hip. It's music. When man's putting music out there, you got to respect that. So why can I pay so much to hear Kendrick, but I can't rate someone that lives down the road? Do you know what I mean?
And you have been involved in music as well, Kojo. Radio career too. How did you get into that? Radio
for me came just because, again, like, my route was stand up, and I built a fan base and a personality via that. And then I'd been to Choice at the time, various occasions for like interviews and stuff, or sometimes I'd fill in for Martin J if he was away as a guest, and yeah, I just I had done bits with One Extra with Ace from like day one, and
that's BBC Radio 1 Extra and Choice FM.
Yeah, Choice FM now Capital Extra.
Yeah, fair to say they were like the leading black stations in the UK at the time.
I mean, Choice. I mean, I remember when I was at One Extra, people had Choice in their car.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's like that was your default station. Default,
100%.
One and two, because it had two frequencies,
which is still some dumb shit. I don't know why that. In 2015, we got two dials, but for me, I feel like that is everybody's Hot 97, innit? It's like Breakfast Club's on top right now, but Hot 97 realistically probably is still on your on your options on your radio.
You're listening,
Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was like, and I grew up listening to it, and I had the opportunity to go to Kiss at one stage. I opted to go to New York, because I felt like they were trying to put comedy involved in it, and I think when you title something with comedy, there's that added pressure to be funny. Whereas if you just be funny, then it comes a bit more of a surprise. Yeah. And they tried to put me in this comedy. Even One Extra at the time when I wanted my own show, it was like, okay, let's figure out some comedy. Why can't you just turn the mic on and let me do what I do?
Right.
Which is what I did at Choice. This is what I'm trying to say. And when I was at Choice, it had the highest listeners that station ever had. So for me, I went in there and I had the impact that I wanted to, because I grew up listening to it, and B, it was the perfect challenge for me, because I felt like Kiss would have been dope, but would I have been really enjoying playing that type of music? No. One Extra at the time, I felt didn't want me, and the opportunity to get back into radio was good, and I can actually have my own thing. Do you know what I mean? and it allowed me to genuinely put Kojo out there. Like, it's not Kojo the comedian. Like, you can't be a comedian at whatever time in the morning. That's who you really are. Some days you don't feel well. Some days you're pissed off about some personal stuff. Like, I'd let it all out on radio. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what endeared people to me even more, and then it allowed me to build new fans as well. So radio is something that I'll probably come back to, but not for now.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy them? How was the mornings for you, waking up that time in the morning?
Ace used to just ring me when he had to cover up what Ace was like, bro, how do you do
it? Every day.
Do you know what it is? It's like, you remember with stand up, you're getting up at night.
Yeah.
And for me, that wasn't healthy, because like a lot of I'd spend about probably 5 hours in a day. I'd be at home and then I'd go out in the evening and do a gig. That's not enough. And I felt like, one of my friends passed, and it was a funeral where I was like, it felt like I was being buried. That's the first time I've been to a funeral, and I felt like, whoa, like, and all I kept on going through my head was, what would I do if this was my funeral? All I'd be saying is what I should have done, what I could have done. Do you know what I mean? And from that moment, I was just like, I got to see more hours in a day. So when radio came to do the breakfast show, I was like, hell yeah, because it forced me to get up early, finish at 9. I got the rest of the day to make something happen. Do you see?
You go sleep after at 9 o'clock?
No, because you know me, I had to do all kinds of things, and I said to myself, I can't just do this and not continue. I have to be a new model in terms of radio presenter, because this generation now, we've got other things going on. We don't just rely on our main gig or whatever people think. Like, you got to be building, because we all know, having done it, there's no loyalty in radio. You don't know. You don't get an advert to say, okay, you're finishing in 2 weeks.
No.
Do you know what I mean? There's not really much notice. It's like,
Ace, can I have a little meeting with you?
Yeah, straight after your show.
Sometimes when the last show. Well done.
Sometimes after a commercial. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, can we talk to you? While you're on air. It's like, So, but because I knew that, I saw some big names get dismissed like that. I was like, who am I?
Right.
So I always had a game plan. From the moment I saw that, was there ain't gonna be a moment when they're gonna tell me bye. It's gonna be me saying, you know what, I've got everything that I want from this for now, and I'm gonna move on. But what I did do was make sure I keep all my relationships.
Right.
Because in this business, don't ever leave angry or upset. Just leave amicable, because you're never gonna know who's gonna be in what station, in what time, and there'll be a time when I probably need them, and vice versa. So yeah, good relationships. I'm cool with everyone there.
Cool. I do want to talk to you about the TV stuff, but you also wrote a book as well. Yeah. You writing was it called Above Romance?
Above Romance, yeah.
What was that about?
Above Romance.
Sorry. How did you even get into writing a book? What, you just woke up one day and said, I'm going to write a book? How does that happen?
I wrote a movie called The Weekend, which we can talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
But I wrote that 5 years ago, and I was really frustrated with the lack of opportunities that I was getting to find investment and all the other things. So what I did was I left it alone. Sometimes when you got a project, you got to leave it alone. Do you know what I mean? It might just not be the right time for it, be entertained with other things. So what I started doing was writing short stories. You spoke earlier on about Love and Hip Hop. One of the beautiful things and the frustrating things about Love and Hip Hop is you got to wait 7 days for the next episode. Right. And if you're fuming, you're like, you've got to wait 7 days for this. But it kept you hooked. So what I decided to do was write short stories, but I'd put them out on Instagram, and I'd write chapter 1 on Monday, and at 5 o'clock it'd be out. And then you got to wait till Tuesday 5 o'clock for the second part. Yeah. So then it was like Monday to Friday, and I did that with Wasteman Diaries. Yeah. And then that hit home. Everyone's like, yo, like, come Wednesday. People's like, bro, I'll be like 2 minutes late. And he's like, bro, where is it? Where's the chapter, bro?
Come on, Kojo, man.
Yeah. But then it just shows you who was actually paying attention to it. And then I did that, and then I did Above Romance. I wrote that, and then we did what did I do? Confessions of a Girlfriend, and all these other stories. And people were just loving them. And ultimately, it's letting people know, okay, Kojo's writing stuff now. I'm a writer. And I wanted to do that. And just also get ideas of what people think. Because, you go to cinema now, people try and guess the ending, innit? Yeah. It's just human nature now to just try and guess the ending rather than just be entertained.
He's the killer. You do that straight away as soon as you see them. Yeah,
that's it. Right. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just sitting back and just letting it entertain you. So what that did as a writer, it allowed me to... People, without even knowing, were trying to guess how it ended. Right. So when they guessed it, I had to go left on them. So that was like a secret of mine where they would naturally be like, oh, I bet this is going to happen. And so I was like, if that's too easy, then I've got to go left now and make it more interesting. So it helped me with my writing. And Above Romance came up realistically because I know a lot of women, and a lot of them moan about the same thing. And my mum always told me, if you want to get a woman to listen to what you're saying, write it down. don't tell her, because you can say it in the wrong tone. You can say it at the right time. You know, women are emotional.
We all know
like
we all know people that done that.
Yeah, and they're probably sitting here right now getting emotional, listening to this right now. Vexed.
Kojo, help me, please.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Why did you tell me this before?
Yeah, but ultimately, I was just like, let me write it down, because one thing about women is they love to read, and they also digest things how they want it said to them.
Right.
So if you're reading it, you take it in how you want it to be taken in. So I wrote this story about a woman who hates Valentine's Day, because sometimes what we've done, we've advertised love as some corny thing, when relationships is the number one conversation ever, and it always will be. Relationships and sex will always be the biggest conversations ever, but we act like love isn't interesting or it's corny. So I felt as though, like, I didn't want a 6-year-old or 9-year-old girl to look at a celebrity that they think, and then they're talking about, forget men and all this other stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I created a story about this woman who hates Valentine's Day. Anyone who hates Valentine's Day, as far as I'm concerned, is either single or bitter.
Yeah.
Because you hate Valentine's Day, but Christmas is all right. Easter's fine. Your birthday's, you know what I mean? None of those are media hypes, but Valentine seems to be whatever. So I wrote a story about a woman who hates Valentine's Day, and her and her girls kind of go out to, they normally do a girls' night out, on Valentine's Day. But this year, 2 of her girls have found men.
Right.
So you know that thing of you're not actually single until you're the only one. Because that girl that you normally call, let's hang out, she's busy now.
Right.
So now you ain't got nothing but time and opportunity to get your shit right.
It's the real single life.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And basically, it's that journey of, okay, here's the problem, but here's the solution. Everything I ever write, you will see a solution in it. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like you can kind of counsel people through entertaining them. And that's more of the writer that I like to be. Hence, Wasteman Diaries is about a guy who's from the road, but it's how he says, I want to change that, but it's all the distractions on the way to doing what's better for you. And knowing that it's not an easy transition, do you know what I mean? And getting into the mind of somebody who doesn't think better exists. Do you know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that I like writing, but giving them a solution at the end of the day.
Speaking about books, Kojo, have you heard about Audible?
No, I have not, Marcus Bronzy. Ace, would you care to share that with me?
Well, I would, because for you, the listeners of How to Kill an Hour podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download and 33 days trial to give you an opportunity to check out their service.
That's right. And if you fancy getting involved, all you have to do is go to howtokillanhour.com/free. That's howtokillanhour.com/FREE. I'm into my audiobooks, and if you're listening to this, you should be as well. I checked out a book called The Power of Habit. Yeah, it's a sick book. I'm not going to lie with you, because it talks about how people can change their lives just through little bits of habit. And for me, I'm a guy that likes habits. If I'm honest with you, Ace, like when I wake up in the morning, I like to have, and you're going to cuss me for this forever, I like to have exactly the same amount of porridge, like to the gram.
You're weird.
Kojo's busting up.
You're weird.
And I don't say I count the raisins that I put in my porridge, but if there are a few in there that are a few extra, like, I would notice. Yeah, call it weird, whatever. But I'm all about my habits and stuff like that. But this is a book about how people use the power of habit to do really amazing things.
You should share that information with, like, midgets. Because you're sitting here 8 foot right now. That might be the diet they need to get into the club.
I always ate my greens, you know. Always ate my greens. You
didn't cook them. You just ate them raw, innit?
I just ate them. So yeah, if you want to get involved with a 30-day trial of Audible, you can check out their range of 180,000 books. Where do you have to go to, Ace?
All you got to do is go to howtokillanhour.com/free. I really enjoyed Wasteman Diaries. The visual, because I didn't get to read it, but I did enjoy the actual show. Would that continue? Because I know, like, you kind of left it on a serious cliffhanger. Like,
yeah, I think what I'm actually doing now is I'm turning it into a full movie,
right?
Because it's weird now, because like, I've just finished watching Power,
right,
and I'm like, bro, this is supposed to be a TV thing. Like, I'm not even sure that I should be making it as a movie, because I was like, no, at first it was like a Top Boy drama, but I wanted it to just be different from just the traditional roadman. Like, it's nothing to do. It was girls in there. It wasn't even about that. You see what I'm trying to say? But I'm just tired of that story. So then I went to America, and I was like, is there an episode 40? And I was like, if there's no episode 40, then it's got to be a film. And that's the way they think.
Right.
You know what I mean? If there's no episode 40, then it's long. Make it a movie. So, and then it got into 50 Cent saw it.
Yeah.
And then
really?
he liked it. He liked it. And then somebody close to him said to me, like, he thinks it should be a film. So then I was like, okay, cool. So I've changed the name to Hustler's Ambition because I think that's the perfect name for it because it's his track.
Yeah,
as
50
well.
would like that.
Yeah.
50, yeah.
And for me, it's like, you know, with his influence on things like Power and stuff,
Yeah.
I feel like he'd eat this up. So I'm writing it now as a full-fledged like feature film. You know, I want A$AP Rocky to play it.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's who I want to play it. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So I've said that it's gonna happen, and yeah, man, like I'm just trying to come with stories that help people.
Let's talk about LA because you up and left.
Yeah, you went over.
You just went over there. You got on a plane.
Do you know what it is? It's like, I don't want to say I've left. I just feel like I'm based there right now.
Right.
I don't see myself staying in LA forever. I just see it as like, that's just where I got to be right now.
What was the initial thing that was just like, I'm going to America to do this? Because, I mean, there's a lot of talented people over here and not a lot of them get the opportunity to go to the States.
Do you know what?
What made you want to just get on a plane?
Because Kojo sometimes needs to be the one that takes.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean by that?
By that, I mean, like, when I'm in the UK, I just give.
Right.
Sometimes I'm not even in a position to give, but that's just what happens. People come to me and they say, can I have? Because I know how to do a lot of things without money. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Or with contacts. So I'll create a lot of these different things and offer opportunities, but at the same time, it's like, who's giving me an opportunity in the UK? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? In America now, I can be the person who just sits back and collects. Do you know what I mean? Like, being on Wild Night with Nick Cannon was such an amazing thing because I'm not running around. I'm not worrying about if these people who's getting paid. I'm not worrying about cameraman. I'm just getting on there, busting my jokes and bouncing. Do you know how fulfilling that was?
Right.
Just to be somebody that's looked after rather than the one that's always looking after people.
Instead of overseeing the whole project, you get to just play your position and well.
Just to be funny and have no burden on me whatsoever was so refreshing. And to go to America and just be a comedian or just audition for something. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And be looked after. And I feel like I needed some of that element. But I've gone out there and then I started going to church as well. And then that's kind of given me a whole new outlook on life and really gave me a better energy about myself because there was things that I had to better about myself as well. And I feel like going to LA was great because LA is very laid back. And that made me a bit uncomfortable because I'm more comfortable when I'm boom, 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 boom. It might seem busy to people, but that's when I'm relaxing. If that makes any sense. I can't relax when I'm just doing nothing.
If I'm honest, no. I'm being honest, bruv. I can't comprehend how you...
I'm like a spider, bro.
Like, you're uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable if you're not busy. Is what you're saying.
Okay, so when you're idle, you feel as if this is it's the opposite of a resting state for you.
Yeah, I panic more then than I do when I've got 8 things to do in one day.
Okay,
like I panic more then. So, but what that did was it gave me what I needed, which was to chill. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Sometimes you just got to chill. You can't always be on your career because you suffocate it. Do you know what I mean? And in order for your career to breathe and flourish, you got to let it go sometimes and not be on it so much. And I feel as though that's what I'm on here. Like even now, I feel like all I've been doing is boom, 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 boom. Do you know what I mean? And making it, trying to make it work again. But in LA, I get to chill out. I get to look really at what I'm doing. And, I've got an amazing manager out there, which is one of the reasons why I want to go out there and get signed with somebody who's an incredible guy. And just see it from the American mentality of, why am I feel like I'm starving in the UK is in terms of opportunities given to me. But in America, like I got a manager who will tell them anything they need to hear to get you in a room. That's Ari Gold.
Ari Gold.
Yes. Like, you got to be on that.
Yeah.
You got to be on that. Because then it's my responsibility if I don't get something.
Yeah.
Then it's on me.
How did a Brit get signed like yourself get signed over in LA? How do you make that happen?
I think ultimately it's sort of the same way a Brit gets a visa. It's like you gotta be of some sort of credibility where you're from. Do you know what I mean? Like Americans say, "Who are you in your house?" that's all they care about. Who are you in your place before you want to come over here and for us to take you seriously?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And again, that's what getting a visa is in terms of working over there. They say, well, who are you? What have you done? So you got to pull out all your clips and your flyers and all this stuff, the radio bits that you've done, references from people who in high places that can vouch for who you are. And essentially that's how you get a good manager as well. Because LA is full of two people that can make it happen and people that bullshit. Do you know what I mean? And because
more of the latter, right?
Well, yeah, because you know, it's like you got to be nice to everybody. You got to be, because you don't know who's who. There is no uniform, so the bullshitters get away with their bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, they might be chatting the truth, and then you just disrespected the next Spielberg.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Or this guy's a fucking alcoholic from down the road, and he's just chatting shit to you right now. You can't be disrespectful to nobody, and there's no uniform for who people are. So you just gotta have that mentality of, okay, I'm gonna go through a lot of bullshit, but somebody's gonna come up with trumps.
Cool.
It's important to do your work at home first. It's like, because people listening to this might look at you being in the area, but boy, I'm British, I got an accent, the British thing's popping in the States at the moment, I'm just gonna go over there and try a thing. Is it important that you've got the CV and the things that...
Listen, like, you can have that attitude, go to LA and blow.
Yeah.
But then that might just be your only opportunity.
Right.
I've earned the right to stay there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And that's all I'm interested in. Everyone's going to get an opportunity, whether you're experienced, whether you're talented or not. Everybody in life gets an opportunity. Do you stay in that opportunity, though? How many people stay in that opportunity? That's all I'm interested in. I'd rather have like 7 hot dinners a week than 1 hot dinner and the rest of them are cold. Do you know what I mean? Like, give me a warm dinner. Like, that's what I want. Give me a 7 every day. I don't want a 10 if I'm going to get a 2 the next day. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Right. So that's my mentality. Like, I'm working to stay in my opportunities, and I've been doing this at a decent level for 15 years now. That's that solidarity. Do you know what I mean? Like, so for me, it's like, and I've seen people, even music artists, come and go. In 15 years, I'm still on my way up, I would like to think. But in the 15 years, there's been a lot of people coming and going. So it's about building yourself and having enough solid foundation to stay in opportunities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you are a good networker as well. Like, it's fair to say you got a big phone book. You get me, an international one. Like, how do you meet up with people? Like, how did you and Nick Cannon meet up?
So when I said to you about like the opportunity at KISS and I went to America, I went to America at the time because I just felt a bit stagnant here. I was like, okay, I'm bringing all these Americans in, I'm doing a comedy club, but what's really going on? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what am I learning again? What am I learning? Who's teaching me something here? And I didn't think comedians were. So I thought, I was like, let me just go to America. You know, I'd been on holiday and I ended up on a TV show called Last Comic Standing, and I got a visa. And then I flew back to Vegas for like the semi-finals, and I didn't make the final 10. And I was like, damn that final 10, I got a visa. Right. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'd already won, and then I was like, this came into my hand for a reason. And then I did Def Comedy Jam here with Russell Simmons, if you remember, a couple of years ago, and he's done the UK tour, so I hosted it. And then he was like, come to New York and we'll see what we can do with you. So he actually gave me like a job at Argyle Culture, I think it is, his clothing line, just during the day. So I had money, and then in the evening I would be just doing stand-up. So I went out there, networked, and Estelle was out there, Royston was out there, a couple of people that I knew. Jamelia came out a couple of times. Dreddy was in New York. So there was a little UK little circle there. And then it was Jasmine Dotiwala's birthday, and she's tight with Mariah, innit? So she came out, and Mariah came to the little birthday dinner, and Nick came, yeah? And this is when they were just fresh. Like, they were paps outside like crazy. And Mariah Carey is sitting in front of you, yeah? But all I cared about was Nick Cannon. Because that is who I believe I have more in common with.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And Mariah is like an amazing person, and I genuinely think she gets on more with guys than she does with girls. But Nick Cannon to me was everything, innit? And I followed this guy, I respect the guy, and Wild 'N Out as well, like, you know what I mean? And we just stayed in contact, and literally he genuinely stayed in contact with me via Facebook, it was at the time. And then when Twitter came in, he'd tweet me and he'd be like, yo, what's going on over the pond, blah, blah, blah. And I remember he tweeted me once and everyone in the UK went mad. And then he was like, I'm bringing Wild 'N Out back. And this was a relationship I had with him from 2008. And sometimes I think when people meet people, it's can I have, instead of just be cool with people, man.
Yeah.
Just be cool sometimes. It ain't going to be can I have all the time. Just build that relation, get into their circle, show them that you're busy doing your own thing. and that you can add to what they're doing. Because no one wants you to carry you. They want you to add to something that they're doing. So he stayed in contact with me, saw what I was doing. He's like, yo, I'm bringing Wild and Out back. It'd be dope to have someone from the UK. By the time that phone hung up, I was out at JFK. I was at the airport like I'm in Terminal 5. Let's do this. You know something?
No luggage.
No luggage. Don't change it. We're gonna ride this baby out. and for me, it was like it was in my television. Do you know what I mean? And it was just dope. And he's a very, very generous human being. Like, there's probably not a better person that I've met who I honestly can say is so generous, and it makes me want to be generous and know that what I'm doing is the right thing. So when I do care about like the next generation or the young talent coming through, it's because Russell Simmons always said to me, like, you know, if you take in this business, there's an expiry date, but if you give, you're always going to be relevant, always, because you're providing opportunities.
That's deep.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And then once that's always stayed with me. So I've been like, if Nick Cannon's doing it, like I would genuinely hand on heart say I'm the equivalent of Nick Cannon. I'm just in a place where it doesn't give you the opportunities that he's had. But there's nothing he can do that I don't believe I can. And I wouldn't try and rap though.
Let's,
sorry, Nick.
No,
I was gonna say.
Wouldn't
Apart
really,
from that,
I wouldn't do that. But ultimately, I'm trying to do it on a way lower budget. But it hasn't stopped me. Do you know what I mean? And it's given me skills that I never thought I'd have unless, you know, I wasn't given opportunities. Do you know what I mean? So he's definitely a good friend and somebody who rates me. So
how do they shoot Wild and Out, by the way? Like, what's the process?
The process is basically you get like a football, and a football is the schedule. And the schedule is, okay, these are the games that we're going to be playing, and here's some suggestions for jokes, just in case you find it hard or you don't know how to play the game. And then you go back to your hotel room and you're like, okay, we're playing these games, let me come with my jokes, innit? So you get 24 hours to kind of just go, okay, let me come with that fire. And no matter how hilarious it is to you, it might not drop.
Oh, wow.
But what he teaches you is how to lose.
Right.
So, for example, if you drop something that's whack, don't just do another whack thing or whatever. Like, know how to lose in a funny way. And that's what makes the show so great, because there's so many episodes that if he gets you today, let him get you. Don't come back with something dead and then just kill what just happened there. Do you know what I mean? So
take the L.
Take the L, but take it in a funny way. Okay. It's like if I go on stage and I do a joke that's clearly not funny, I'll be like, well, I thought that was funny. And it makes people laugh. It makes people, it's just those little things that if you get wrong, you can have a really bad night or a really bad moment when you don't need to. It's just about owning the fail. Do you know what I mean? So that's what he teaches you. But most of it is just, they pre-record it, they play the games, we rehearse the games, and people come up with the ideas, and then you see if the games work or not, and if it rolls, we just roll. But they let everybody do all the games, and then they edit it to the best ones. Do you know what I mean? So if you had a big fail, then they'll pull it on because it looks good for the show. But if you had a big laugh, you know you're going to be on there. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And you have to remember, like my first season on there, I was on quite a bit, like, because there's about 7 people in each team, and there's like 3 games, and then the wild style. So like 3 games to get all those people in ain't happening. There's some people that are just on the teams for the whole season. Don't ever come out because nothing was funny. Do you know what I mean? So for me, my first season, bro, I came out like 2 or 3 times on every episode. So I was like, yo, this is mad. But it lets you know that nothing's impossible. Like, I'm this boy from East London, Hackney, who used to watch this show. I created my show on MTV Base to be something similar to it, but I ended up being on the original thing, and that's just a blessing from God. You know what I mean? So I put myself in these situations. So I don't believe I'm lucky. I would say I've been blessed because this has been a long process. People don't see that. And I remember even like when I went to New York and I came back, people was like, oh, what happened in New York? Because they never saw no immediate thing, but you got to plant your seeds sometimes. You know what I mean? Because it takes time for that tree to grow. Do you know what I mean? And it's the last laugh that you want. You don't want the first one. You know
it was like a 6 year process from meeting Nick Cannon to getting on. So it wasn't an overnight thing. You didn't just buck him, hello, hi, and you're on the show. Because that's a very good point.
I would believe that if I say, can I have, he would never have called me again. Yeah. That's the way I look at things. You know what I mean? And people, like, if you're listening to this, if you admire somebody, your approach is everything. Your approach is everything. If you're too much of a burden or you're full on, it's just sometimes it's too much. And I always look at it as like, do I want someone being full on with me? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it could just be too much. Just say hi, how you doing, boom, and then hope that next time there's a reference. I met you at Then you can have a conversation.
If she's bad though, I might want to. I wouldn't mind some overzealous hugging.
Listen, that is how I used to get girls.
Right.
That is how I used to get girls. I'd say hello to them and I'd be like, hey, boom, and then I'd buy them a drink and I'd cut out, bruv. All that girl's thinking I was raw, like, man, they even asked me for my number. Because women assume that that's what you're coming for.
Right.
But when you hit them with something that they ain't used to, they're like, what happened? What's wrong with me?
Kojo's dropping the knowledge.
Dropping knowledge.
And then when you see them the second time, boom.
Yeah.
Straight in.
It's easy work.
What's it like? Obviously, you're known in the UK, but what's it like being known in the States, being on a TV show that's as big as Wildin' Out? That's got to be different gravy going out there.
It's changed. It's
that's
changed.
got to be something else.
I mean, do you know what it is? That show, they batter it. You don't understand.
Yeah. Repeats and everything.
You're the only guy from the UK.
Exactly. You got an accent, fam.
God damn, it's like there's Idris. Yeah. T.O. and Jafor.
That's what I'm saying. But on Wildin' Out, it's just you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you saw it, I wasn't trying to be American. Like, I owned that British thing.
100%.
Like, I owned it because I was like, this has to change. Even if they didn't find me funny, this has to change because Americans are they're very like, they've got the perception of Britain that we're all Mr. Bean, innit?
Yeah.
All dry, deadpan humour. We're not physical or theatrical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when they see you with a snapback, you got a swag to you, there's an attitude, you got the latest Jordans on, they're like, whoa, like, what is this? You know what I mean? And it's just opening, in 2015, you shouldn't be asking if there's black people in, they're like, that's ignorant. You got the internet, you got Google now. That's ignorant though. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But they're still asking those dumb questions.
Yeah.
So I got to be the person to take it on the shoulders. They may not laugh, but I'm going to change their perception though. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And just through being confident, like, I could not have done Wildin' Out 8 years ago.
Why not?
Because I wasn't developed enough.
Right.
I'm my own man now, so there's nowhere in this planet I can't go where and be comfortable.
Right.
Whether you dig me or not ain't gonna throw me. I can only do what I do. Do you know what I mean? So because of that confidence, I ended up doing the stand-up special as well,
I saw that.
which allowed me to really get into it on my own bit. So, and that, I got standing ovation.
How was that? How do you be funny in America as a British man? How did you have to adjust your comedy?
I had to adjust it. You know, certain things you just got to tweak words, innit? We are so knowledgeable as British people, as Europeans, because we soak up everything from around the world. They don't. They don't know what Wasteman is. You got to explain that to them instead of just trying to figure it out. They don't want to do all of that. I had a woman say to me, "Oh, you should have said dollars instead of pounds." I was like, "Why? Why can't you calculate that in your head? It's only currency. The number hasn't changed." Do you know what I mean? That's the level of people that you have to entertain.
Right.
And they're not going to walk out saying, "Oh, I learned something." They just want you to make them laugh. But I've been around the world. I've traveled, so I'm able to adapt my set slightly, but still remain who I am.
Did you wild out there? Like, in terms of, like, I can imagine, like, maybe not your first time out there, but once you started getting a bit more fame out there, like going to clubs, and were you ever irresponsible out there? Did you take advantage of the fame and the British accent and being on TV?
Do you know what
and
it is?
being Nick Cannon's friend?
Do you know what it is? Like, because I look at it as this, man. There's a lot of people who are Nick Cannon's friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm one of many. I just feel like I'm genuinely about the business, because I feel like when you get what you want. You ain't got to go to a club and get a chick. If you're about your business, that chick's coming to you.
Right.
That's what I'm on. I'm on being so busy with my talent and being creative that BBC should call on my phone and have a conversation with me. It might be egotistical to some people, but that's just the mentality that I have. I'm not here to be good. I'm trying to be great. And I feel as though you can have a conversation with me because I'm busy over here killing it. Do you know what I mean? It's that cash money mentality. I don't need your record label. I'm out here selling units. Have a conversation with me. And I'm quite happy because I know my worst day, I'm going to be all right. So even if I never make millions, I'm never going to be like broke. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I'm cool with that. I'm now at a space spiritually and in my faith that I don't even chase the success that I was chasing anymore, because I know it's already planned for me. So all I got to do is just be and be busy getting ready for those opportunities. Because if you get opportunity and you ain't ready, that's more detrimental than you just trying to fight for this opportunity all the time. You got to be busy getting ready. So for me, it's more like, yeah, it's good to know Nick Cannon and that. I didn't want to go to LA and be like, Nick, I'm in LA, can you help me? No, I'm out there just here. I'm here, innit? If I get the phone call, I get the phone call. I don't need to be around underneath somebody. You know, Kevin Hart's coming in January. My phone rings again. Oh, brother, you supporting him this time? Are you doing? No, I don't want to be nowhere near that show because I've already done that. What? How much time must I be under Kevin?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be under anybody. I'm trying to look what this great man is doing and have my own greatness. Do you know what I mean? Some people get caught gazing that you miss your own journey. This shit I'm trying to say, you miss your own train because you're so busy admiring people, and it's good to admire people, but if you look that 1 second too long, you get stuck there. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And I'm like, there's nothing that I can gain from going and doing that show again. Nothing, because I've done it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even doing Wild 'N Out next season because I've done it. It's like, how much times am I supposed to be Wild 'N Out? Like, that can't be taken away from me now. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I don't want to stay on there and be like D-Ray and just on there forever and everyone else is blowing up around you and you're still there.
That's a very good point.
Do you know what I mean? Because then people just, after a while, they get bored of you, B. They just get bored of you. You got to be on the next train when it's coming. And give yourself like 2 seasons is enough for me to cement a place there. Kevin Hart wasn't Wild 'N Out. Some people don't even know. Because he didn't hang around for that. There was more that he wanted. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Quickly, before we move on to your latest project, what were the Wild 'N Out girls saying?
You know what, yeah? Like, I ain't gonna lie. The first season, I was like, oh my days. I was gosh, you know, like when the rabbit just bangs his foot. Yo, I was like, yo, what's going on? And I was so ignorant though, because again, I'm so about the business that I didn't know who Rosa Acosta was. I didn't know none of that. So I'm sitting there with Rosie's busting joke, and then I took a picture of it, I posted it. My Instagram went mad. And I was just ignorantly said to her, who are you?
Swear down.
That's what I said. And then she was so humble with me. She was like, oh no, I'm like, I do fitness and I'm a model. And I was like, oh, see, okay. I said, I just.
But you didn't see the Drake video or nothing?
Nah,
you didn't know none of that?
None of that, bro. When you do radio, I mean, I'm different. Remember, I came into radio because I like the presenting side of it. I don't give a shit about the music like that. I don't give a damn. That's just 100%. Do you know how much music videos that I didn't know, that I was playing the music every day and I hadn't seen the music video?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I didn't know none of that stuff. But everyone was saying to me, no, bruv. So then I was like, yo, look at my phone. Like, it's gone nuts, yeah? And then she's like laughing. But she's so cool. Like, really. She got the face of somebody that just don't chat to people.
Right.
But she's just mad cool. She's dope. Lolo Doom is like one of the most beautiful people that I've ever met. And she's just bad.
Was she the baddest?
Yeah. Like, I would say, chicks that, like, and you know, I know women, yeah. Like, that girl, top two
Ever.
Wow.
In life. Swear down.
Yeah, in life, because she's just a beautiful person as well. And when you add that to and there's an innocence about her that she don't know how fine she is.
Okay.
And you know what?
That's attractive as well.
She'll get there where she, you know what I mean, she can start getting gassed.
Yeah.
Of course, because Nick, you know, she moved to Hollywood around the same time. Maybe like 6 months before me, and we were speaking like all the time about what we're gonna do when we get to Hollywood, and she's like, but Nick was saying to me, oh, the game got her now.
Oh,
Because he's seen it, innit?
Yeah.
You can't tell him, oh, she's a nice girl. Like, he's seen it. They were all nice girls.
Yeah.
They were all nice girls 9 months ago. Do you know what I mean? And then they met a basketball player, and then that was it.
End of that.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Then you join that category, but a lot of them are nice, but they're not all nice. Like, you know, I know girls from Streatham, Hackney that will kill these girls. You see what I'm trying to say? And that's real. But we don't celebrate them enough.
Right.
There is no UK girl that will get paid to host any party. Name one.
I remember Kojo's Angels, boy, and you had some.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, you know me.
You did some.
But I'm just saying, because what we do in this country, again, we don't rate ourselves. What we do is, this is how America see us. America says British people have amazing actors.
Right.
When it comes to the real roles, they go to British people. Biopics, British people. Most of them we get because we can do the serious roles. But they don't think that we're beautiful like that. They get gas when English girls. I'm sure you have friends go to LA and they come back and tell you stories. Oh my gosh, they were like, yeah, this, that, the other, I can't believe from you. Like, they still with that mentality that British girls are just what they see in films. So like the Natives project that I'm doing, bro, I had to pull out some of the best of what we got.
And that you did. And that Kojo did.
And again, these are girls that people are like, I've never seen this girl before. It's not like girls you just see on Instagram all the time and everyone knows who they are. Yeah. Like, I pull them out, B.
Shout out to China.
Right. Annalise Days.
That's Britain's next top model.
Yeah,
Run it up.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I've got an American eye on this movie, and I want them to look at it and go, yo. Like, just by the pictures on Instagram, they've gone mad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they're now seeing, whoa, like, this is the different wave. And everyone's made that visualization of right, like this is an attractive cast. Even the guys, like girls are like, yo, like who are these people? And there's this misconception about, you know, people can have like 2 million followers on Instagram and they feel like everyone knows them. Nah. There's a lot more people that ain't on Instagram than are on Instagram. Right. And people seem to forget that. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And there's different audiences. Twitter don't react the same way as Instagram, and Facebook don't react the same way. They all have their own way of interaction. Do you know what I mean? But for me, if I'm gonna have a funny comedy, I watch all my favorite films and sitcoms and all that, and there's one commonality: attractive cast. We just don't do that here. We're on some that
it's
person's
like
talented.
we like frumpy. Don't we?
Yeah,
no, it sells. It sells. It sells. It sells.
We like miserable. We like grit.
Yeah.
We like grit. Do you know what I mean? Like, people love the cover of Wasteman Diaries. They look gritty. Do you know what I mean? But then it's like you got to be able to kind of celebrate beauty. You got to be able to celebrate talent. But you got to be able to match those two things as well. Like when we did Funhouse on MTV, I had about 20 girls on there for no reason. They weren't telling no jokes. They weren't telling no jokes, but it made people want to watch it more because there was something else to entertain them rather than just jokes. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And I feel like if you're going to sell something, there has to be more than one reason why people want to invest in it or like it. And that's why I'm very confident about this film.
Let's talk about the film.
Yeah, we have to talk about
We
the
have to
film.
talk about the film. The Weekend.
First of all, before we talk about the film, I have to apologise to Ace.
Yes.
Ace
Did this come up on a previous podcast?
Did he?
You mentioned it?
I think I did.
cuss me out.
Did I cuss him out?
No, with your snap.
I think I was in Snapchat.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
I was venting to
Do you know what?
And
Do you know what?
I was winding up Ace as well, just going, ah!
But do you know what? It's one of those things where, again, it's like, it's just about timing sometimes. You know what I mean?
of course.
And the want for him to be in it was there, obviously.
And I
think,
appreciate that.
And I think that's more.
Let's explain what happened. Let's explain what happened.
So Ace came down to play a security guard.
I did.
Yeah.
And basically, the day that we were supposed to shoot him, we couldn't actually shoot because we was delayed on the main scenes that we had to shoot. So
And
then
it
we
was
tried to
raining and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that held back everything. So then we tried to get him back another day, but as he's a busy boy, he wasn't available.
I wasn't.
No,
And
he was
then-
just grumpy, innit?
Nah. I know you weren't available. And then again, even I still tried to get him in there with another role, but he's a busy guy.
I know.
Getting them IB for flus.
I know.
So again, he was busy, but he knows that the intention was there to put him in, and
100%.
sometimes I believe everything happens for a reason, and there'll be more opportunities. And yes, he's been my brother for time, so
Appreciate that,
So and that's what I want to do. I want people to, and this is how much I care about the scene. Like I want people to be more than what people think they are. Do you know what I mean? So when people see Marcus in the movie, they can be like, "Right, that man's acting as well." Whether you're a great actor or not, it's not that. It's people now can see you in something else, and that's why I try to tell a lot of these MCs. Be more than just bars, man, because if you've got a brand, remember, people invest in you. They don't give a shit what you do. When's the last hot song that Beyonce really did? No one cares, but because we like her, she can't go wrong. And that's what I want people to understand about a brand. Like, it don't matter what you do. I've been able to do so many different things because people invest in me. If you got to like Kojo before you trust me to do anything else. I've never done a play in my life, but when I did a play, people came because they believed in what Kojo's doing.
Because of the Kojo brand.
Right, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Not whether the play was good or not, they came because they trust what I do and they know that I don't let them down.
Exactly. So you brought the Kojo brand, or shall we say your weight, to this brand new project, the Weekend movie that I didn't know until today you wrote 5 years ago. I had no idea. So what was the process with that? You hooked up with, is it Sheridan?
Yeah, but Sheridan Demeyers is the director of the film. It's called The Weekend, and it should be out next year, which is a crazy year because you got European Championships and you got the Olympics as well. So we got to bring it out before that madness, or we're gonna get swallowed. You know what I mean? But
people will be like, beers and football. I ain't got time for a
But
film.
again, but in 2015, people would make a movie in 2010 and bring it out 2013.
Exactly.
Now they want the content now. Because that's how the videos are. That's how everything online is like now. And this movie will be the first urban movie that reflects the internet generation. Because a lot of people that are in the movie are from online. There's got all these people that have been building up their own brands, like Man Them on the Wall, Ashley Inks, comedians who have been on the circuit for years. Like, this is their moment to shine and make it genuinely a comedy movie. Because I feel like the process has been so difficult. When I wrote it, I wrote myself as the lead, and then that was like 5 years ago. So again, people don't make the right decision because they wrote it for themselves. They feel like I got to be the main guy. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And I feel like, well, you can't convince people that you're at that age anymore because you've built yourself as something else. So
is it hard to give that up though?
No, because if you're smart about it, you find another way. And what I did was, instead of being the lead guy, I played 3 characters in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I got to live one of my dreams, which is the prosthetics. I've seen Martin Lawrence do it. I've seen Eddie Murphy do it. And we did it at a genuinely decent standard where people aren't going to look at it and go, this is a bad version. They're going to look at it and go, like, we can do this. Why don't we do it? What's so genius about it? And there's nothing genius about it. You just got to say, I'm going to do it and make it happen. And Man Them on the Wall, for me, I can get 3 guys to become friends and they'll be good. But then what's better than people who are already friends?
Yeah.
And already have a fan base. And when we were shooting in Hackney, the kids that were running up to these people on the street while we're filming reminded me of like, right, these kids are genuinely out there. They've built a fan base. 100%. So this is like the Man Them on the Wall movie to a lot of their fans. And for me, these kids should have had a show a long time ago. I think they're more talented than the in-betweeners. Way more talented because they've had to do a lot of things by themselves. And it takes someone like myself to give them an opportunity because after this movie, all their opportunities are going to come. But it ain't going to become because Channel 4 saw them or that person saw them. It's because someone that genuinely cares about their talent and knows how talented they are said, you don't need to do a film. And we didn't talk about it for long. We just got up and done it. So there's a lot of new talent. And the reason why I went with new talent and not big household names, which I could have gone for, was because for me, every movie since Kidulthood has had Kidulthood reference to it.
Yeah.
Comedy, grit, Top Boy, whatever, like... Everything's come off Kidulthood. That's the only movie we've had from the urban community that had no names in it. Everything else, Adulthood, we knew the people by then. Top Boy, we knew people. Like Attack the Block, you didn't know the kids, but the 2 white guys, Nick Frost and like you knew who they were. So hence why, okay, but they didn't have the legacy of what Kidulthood. Remember, Bullet Boy was before Kidulthood. Didn't have the legacy though, because we knew Asher D. Do you know what I mean? But we didn't know no one in Kidulthood. So for me, this is the biggest movie since then because, again, you don't really know anybody. Everybody's on the same playing ground. So there isn't no stigma attached to anybody. Oh, I've seen him in that before. I didn't like him. You get to genuinely believe the characters that you see as well. And you got people like A. Squeezy in there who I think is so talented. Ashley Ings, I keep saying his name. People are going to see this guy on another level.
Serious?
People are going to see this guy on another level. I'm telling you.
I'm so interested.
People are going to see his life. Yeah. If you follow him on Instagram, because what he does, he just jumps into people's cars, innit? And he does some madness. He jumps into people's cars and goes, drive, man, I just robbed the bank. And you got a guy goes, what are you doing? Get out my car. And it's funny. But I've taken that Instagram energy and I've put it into something that really matters, which is a feature film. First time on set doing a feature movie. Do you know what I mean? And he just is an actor to me now, like properly, and you find the diamonds in the dirt sometimes. You see what I'm trying to say? And I don't just work with people, I get to know them. Do you know what I mean? And that way I can get the best out of them on set. And when you see what people have come from on the beat, things that they've gone through, you understand why their behavior is a certain way sometimes, or some people are uncomfortable with help sometimes, you know what I mean? Because they've never got help before. So they're not used to just saying thank you or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So you got to get to know people that you work with, and that's what I choose to do. And he's someone I pull out. A. Squeezy for me, people just think he just does rap remixes or whatever. That kid's talented and teaching him the discipline though, because that's what I think he needed to learn, the discipline of just doing that. Don't do more than that. Just do that. Because when you watch back, you're gonna be like, yo, that was dope, rather than I shouldn't have said that or doing too much. And this is how we develop people who have come from rough backgrounds. Do you know what I mean? And there's just too many performers. Nadine Mills as well, waiting for an opportunity. Beautiful girl. I've had Americans like, who's that girl? Leading girl. Do you know what I mean? And then you got the boutique girls from the film as well. Like, that for me, just beautiful girls, just beautiful. But again, there's opportunities for them to do stuff. And when you watch Friday, there was a whole bunch of models in that. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a whole bunch of models weren't actors, but they got opportunities to build. And I feel like this movie should change the game. And not give us that moment where we've got to wait another 10 years for another thing. The next thing should be cooking straight away. Do you know what I mean? And we want to do like another movie as well for the weekend as well in Ibiza. So,
yeah, G. That's why we're in it. That is it. That's my calling.
Yeah. So what is the film about though? What's the synopsis?
The movie's about 3 kids who are kind of like misfits in the area, the neighborhood. Yeah. They've got like nothing to talk about, like they ain't got secrets. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They ain't done jack. And Derek, who's the lead actor and played by Javone Wade, he comes home from after his first year at uni, and he's very bright boy, very intelligent, but he's got like friends who kind of just send him down the wrong path, and they come across some money in a bag swap when he's got all his luggage at the train station, and then they see the money and they're like, listen man, people don't respect us in the area, let's get that respect, and they believe money's going to do that.
Right.
But with money comes problems and drama, and when it ain't yours and you're wilding out with it, you got to account for that. So it's like the first half is just spending the money and all the stuff that they do with it, and the second half is how they try and get all that money back. Do you know what I mean? So it's definitely like a split film, and it's comedy, and every time you think they're gonna get it back, they don't, and you're like, oh, they must get the money back now, and they don't. You know what I mean? And it's just showing what kids do. Kids rap when we was young, about 19, that we climbed on blocks and jumped on roofs and done foolishness, and that's the real element of what I think kids get up to, and what I used to get up to, that I wanted to kind of have in this, and that's all it is. But like Friday was all about two guys that were on a porch that owed a bad guy $200. There was guns in that film. $200. It wasn't no big change. He just wanted $200 by 10 o'clock in it. That's what he's asking for. Like, give him his money in it. So, but what we done is keep it simple. 3 kids find money, they got to give it back. But it's the extra characters, the Bernie Macs that pop in and come out, the Ezels that pop in and come out. Do you know what I mean? The midget across the road with a banging wife. Yeah. Those are the little things that stick with you, and then you start to develop these characters, and you learn to love them. Do you know what I mean? And there's a barbershop scene that's hilarious. Got a gay barber in there. Then you've got, the main villain's a midget. Do you know what I mean? It's like all of these different things is like comedy and things that characters that people will remember. And I guarantee it's a movie you got to watch about 3 times to get all the jokes.
Awesome. I look forward to it. How long did it take to shoot though?
3.5 weeks. 3.5 weeks. Yeah, 3.5
That's
weeks.
a quick shoot, isn't it? Or is that not? Is that?
They shot Friday in 14 days.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
14 days,
okay.
but yeah, it was just like two shots maximum from the same thing. Like, there weren't no budget. Because I was like, how do you mean there's no budget? Like, if you've got cameras there, you can take as many shots as you want. Nah, mate. Because when you use that sunlight, then you got to pay for lights. Right. Then you got to do all of those things cost. And I learned that doing my first feature film. Do you know what I mean? And for me, it's like, Sheridan's got a very, like, he speaks visually.
That's the director, right? Yeah, Sheridan Demise.
Yeah. He speaks visually, and we get there. Like, if I'm on set and that line don't work, because sometimes you can have a script that's funny, and then on set it just doesn't work. So you got to find a replacement for it, or you allow the actor, which is something that I definitely do. Like, I write guidelines. I want them to get there, because I can pay anyone to read it, but I want someone to bring something to it. Like Samson, KO, Samson just came in, like, we had KG comedian who was supposed to do it, and then he couldn't do it for whatever reason, and then Samson came in, and I tried to see the film without him now, and it wouldn't have been the same.
Wow.
So I think everything happens for a reason, and he's just another diamond in the rough who's gonna kill it after this as well. So it's a really, really fresh cast, and hopefully the next household names, the new Rat Pack, because I think it was just all adulthood and kidulthood starts for about 10 years in everything. Yeah.
So you want to bring a new wave?
Yeah, I think Noel had his people, and I've got my people, and then someone else will have their people. Do you know what I mean? And definitely want to work with Man Them on the Wall again, because them boys they're gone after this.
Yeah.
Crazy,
funny
man.
Guys as well.
Very, very. And they're really good kids. Really good kids. You know what I mean? And they're just hungry, and they know what they deserve. And that's why I instill in them that know what you deserve. Do you know what I mean? And then you'll be all right. Don't let anyone mug you off.
Is the Weekend film going to have a website?
Of course it is.
Well, have you heard about freedom of creation?
No, I haven't. Share it with me, Marcus.
Ace, tell us about freedom of creation, please.
Well, their team of designers and developers have had a hand in creating and maintaining some of the most memorable brands in a number of industries. Make your business stand out in the crowd. You could call them free. Free, yeah?
Free?
Like, you don't pay anything.
Yeah.
Even if I call from a mobile.
Mobile charges may apply.
Okay. 0800. You can call them free today on 0800 802 1028. That's 0800 802 1028.
That's right. And if you want to find out, if you want to see an example of their work, all you have to do is go to howtokillanow.com, because they designed that website for us, Ace.
Big up to them.
Do you like it?
I like it a lot, actually.
It's pretty good
It's
stuff.
very easy to use.
Yeah. Plus our mugs are on it as well. Okay, so what have you got forthcoming?
I'm just trying to just do more films, man. I've got me and Sheridan are going to LA to shoot a movie with the Wild and Out cast called School's Out that I wrote. So we're trying to do that in November. And again,
the whole cast.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
I really like Chico.
Chico B.
He is funny.
Chico.
Yeah. That guy makes me cry.
Chico is just rugged
very
with
funny.
it, yeah.
Very funny.
But he's a very, very very nice guy. He's been comedy for about 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, 6 years.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And these are people that they're at the hunger stage of their careers. You know what I mean? And I hope they maintain that, because it's hard when you get success to keep that natural hunger. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of gone for a little bit because you get to a place where you're being successful. But he's a very good friend. DC Young Fly is the next
Very
Chris
funny.
Tucker.
Yeah, he's very funny as well.
Next Chris Tucker, Timothy Delaghetto,
Yep.
King Batch,
Emmanuel Hudson.
Do you know what I mean? Like, all of these people, they're all gonna be up in the film, man.
Oh,
All
that's
of them.
gonna be sick.
Do you know
That's
what I
gonna
mean?
be sick.
Kojo, like, how? It's an expensive process. How do you work out the finances for a film? Like, do you just say, I like this film, I'm gonna pay for it myself? Do you have to talk to studio? Like, how does it work?
I mean, listen, man. Like, if there ain't a film, I don't think there's a film that's ever been made that's not come from road money, or people who just have multi-million-pound businesses that, like Russell, that says, yeah, I want to get involved. You know what I mean? And I wish there was more of those people. Like,
Roadman.
No. No, I mean, I wish there was more people who have collateral that just said, you know what, I'm gonna back the scene. You know, like, you know how much footballers I spoke to. I spoke to loads. 5 years I've been trying to do this. I spoke to loads of footballers. I put it down to, you don't respect me yet. Do you know what I mean? Because someone else might have a conversation. Tiny might ring you and go, I got this idea. You might go, yeah. Because you might respect Tiny, or you feel like he's got more of a fan base.
Tiny temper.
Yeah. At this precise moment. But I'm like, we've all similarly kind of had very similar stories coming up. And look what I'm doing with nothing. Do you know what I mean? That's why I look at people and say, look what I'm doing with small. Like, what could I do if I had a lot?
That's a very good point.
Do you know what I mean? And that's why I go to these people and I say, listen, I need help doing this. Because I don't like asking people for nothing. I've never had to ask anybody for anything until I've done this movie. Never in my life. Because I've always invested in my own dreams. Because I feel like if you invest in yourself, people want to join in. They don't want to help start nothing. It's easier to join in. Okay, yeah, that's floating nicely. Let me jump on that train, rather than help you start it. Not many people do. And, you know, football, I mean, they don't have to give me anything. But there's a few people that tweet about the scene and the scene should be doing this. But don't tweet about it, back it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't tweet all that crap. Like, everything you hear me tweet, like, there's a substance behind it. And I feel like the scene could be much better if we start asking people outside for stuff. There doesn't happen that much in America anymore. There's things going on.
That's a good point. You talk a lot of sense, Pastor Kojo.
Yeah, man.
Get me?
He's dropping
You've
the knowledge.
been preaching
I
knowledge
think
today.
when you've been around great people and you hear their stories,
Yeah.
there's no difference. And it just is what it is. I don't want to say it's anything else. I just like to keep it 100 sometimes and say, I'm trying to make this place better for everybody, not just for black people or Asian people. I feel like this country should really show diversity, because that's the real world. EastEnders, you can't tell me EastEnders is the real world. You can't. You cannot tell me that's the real world. That's not even East London anymore. Do you see what I'm trying to say? That's not East London.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like that they've been stuck in this warped time. The only thing that you might say is relevant is the flipping flyers that you see on the poster. Do you know what I mean?
Or the occasional guest DJ that does a cameo on E20.
Saying, oh yeah. But I'm just saying, like, come on, it shouldn't be, there's a new black family in town. There should be like, there's another one. Do you know what I mean?
Is that what they say? Oh, there's another one.
But that's what they do. There's a new black family in town, and one black family has to get killed off or leave. And then, come on, really? In 2015, this is what we're doing.
You're right.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Just, I don't think, the truth is for television. I don't believe that. I just feel like, let's embellish it. People don't want to watch reality all the time. You don't want to watch what's real. You live what's real. Give me something to aspire to. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I think America do it really well.
Awesome. You know what, Kojo? Thanks for just keeping it real today, man. You've kept it very real with us. And keeping on the subject of realness, I'm going to make this about me for a second. So, like, any pointers on my acting in the film? Like, how did I do?
I thought, do you know what? I thought he was really good.
He's not looking at me when he's saying it. He's looking
I don't look
at
at
the floor.
people. I don't make eye contact with man.
Yeah,
don't do them thing there. Yeah, I mean,
Man, don't do them thing.
Nah, don't do that. No, you know what I mean? It was, I feel like I wanted you to kind of come in, and I gave you, I know you. Like, most of the cast didn't have to audition. Not many of them had to audition because I know them. I know what naturally you're like. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So I can go, yeah, Marcus can come and do that easily. And then I allowed you to have fun with it. because I didn't say, okay, you just have to do this, because I trust you. I don't put you in a position that I don't think that you can deliver. So I wasn't second guessing it or anything like that, and I feel it was cool. I thought it was just a nice little introduction to your acting, and then we'll see if Spielberg calls you afterwards. You know what I mean?
Smug, I might get acting agent out here. You did tell me to do that though, didn't you?
No, but I'm just saying, like, why? Again, it comes back to what I said before. Why just be a DJ? Why just limit yourself?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How much things that you like outside of music, Ace?
100%.
You like people. You love comedy.
Yeah.
You love comedy. Do you know what I mean? So why can't you be in a comedy film or anything like that? Like, I'm involved in anything that I grew up loving.
Yeah.
I don't play football anymore, but I'm always talking about it. I know footballers. That doesn't mean that I can't talk about it because I'm a comedian. And I feel like we like to limit each other. Oh, why is Kojo trying to do this now? I hear it all the time. But when it's successful, oh yeah, man, I always knew he could. We know those people. Do you know what I mean?
Of
And
course.
it's like, and you know, I watch leaders. I watch people who lead. And they go through a phase of embarrassment. Pharrell wore that hat and it was stupid for 2 weeks.
That was ridiculous.
It was stupid for 2 weeks though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And then everyone got a hat.
He committed to it though.
But you got to do. That's what leaders do. They're ridiculed immediately.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Come on now, Pharrell. That's stupid. Then you see the whole shelf.
God.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, sold out. Everyone's got it now. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, people can't be afraid to stand out in front, because it is a scary position to stand out in front and be different. But you got to understand that if you're doing that and you own it, people will follow you. And then you want to be leaders, start trends. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you got to be ready for the next thing. You got to start the next thing. That's what earlier on we was talking about apps and stuff. You got to be ahead of the game, man. Why be where the game's at? Why? That's whack to me. That's boring.
How to Kill an Hour app coming soon. That was it. Technology, how has the fact that things are a bit more portable, you can get better quality cameras on set and stuff, how did that affect the filmmaking process? Like, would you have been able to make a film on the budget that you have this year 10 years ago?
I feel like we could have made the budget. We could have. I feel like we could have shot this on a damn iPhone.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. It's, bruv, I keep saying it's 2015, yeah? But it really is. Do you know, there's the guy called Owen, I can't remember his last name, comedian. This is the funniest thing I've heard in comedy. He bought 10 iPhones, yeah? He went to Apple, he bought 10 iPhones, innit, yeah? Cash. And then he dotted them around the comedy club and he filmed his comedy special, yeah? 10.
No way.
Listen, filmed it.
No way.
Edited it, yeah? Deleted all the content off the phones, took it back to the shop. Got his money back. Owen Smith.
Genius.
Right now.
That is
What
genius.
a guy.
Meanwhile, Kevin Hart spending how much grand
Wow.
on cameras and stuff like that, and obviously his thing's way bigger scale.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's the same thing I'm gonna put into my DVD player. The same thing I'm gonna download. Is it funny or not? That's what I'm gonna say. And when I saw this trailer, man, showed it, and you know the iPhone 6 is a dope camera. Like, bruv, he got 10 of them. Bow, 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 bow. Edited it, took it back to the shop. Give me my money back, please. That would have costed him 30K.
Yeah.
That could have cost you with the cameras and all that lighting and all that foolishness. That would have cost you how much money? It's just people are now being innovative. They're now trying to just get more for less. What's that? Paranormal Activity, £12,000. 60,000 pounds to do that video and that movie. 200 and something million it made.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why are we out here working hard for? I don't want to work hard no more. You got to be smart about this. Do you know what I mean? Why can't somebody... There's a film that won an award at the New York Film Festival. Filmed on an iPhone. I saw this kid, Tommy something. He's on Instagram. He's got a little high-top
Tommy
African kid.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got this Snapchat film that he's doing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, it's just being clever and thinking about different ways to just get out there and not just do what everyone else did. Why can't you shoot a movie on iPhone? Why? Because it might take more effort to do it, but why can't you if you've got all these different cameras?
It's a very good point.
Do you know what I mean? There's no excuse for nobody to be talking about, there's no opportunities. You got to create them, and it might seem stupid, but when you shoot a movie on iPhone, bro, I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one just to see if I can.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but we're not going to get an Avengers though, are we, from an iPhone?
But of
you're
course-
talking in terms of good story.
But here's what I'm saying to you. You say that. You just earlier said I'm waiting for the iPhone 9 to come out. Things are only going to get better on your phone, bro.
It's true.
And you
Yeah,
say that now.
especially with that Snapchat update that
Bruv,
everyone's guessing about.
see?
Yeah,
I can't get it for some reason. Why? What?
because you need a better phone.
Oh, Sheesh. Upgrades in about 2 weeks. Don't worry, I'm just patiently waiting.
I was like you. Then I got an upgrade.
Patiently waiting.
Now I'm with the cool kids.
Seriously though, Apple, you put us top of new and noteworthy. Ace needs help.
I need help, man.
He's on an iPhone 3GS.
Oh, wow.
That 3GS, you know.
That's the first one.
You know what I mean? Nah, I'm coming. Don't worry, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, thank you very much for today, Kojo.
Appreciate
and if people want to holler at you, get in contact with you, see what you're up to, how can they do that?
Official Kojo, official Kojo on everything that matters.
Cool. And where are you going to be for the next few months? This is dropping on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be probably like I'm going back to LA for a bit, and then I come back. I think beginning of December. And then, just going to be doing some stand-up shows here in the UK for Christmas and stuff. And then pilot season in LA as well is where all the new shows come up and people start pitching stuff. And I've got some ideas of stuff that I've created that I want to get. There's some of my managers working on that out there. And yeah, I just want to just start telling stories. I think next year, realistically, we're going to go hard with the weekend movie. Like we're going to schools around the country and just taking the kids, like man them on the wall to meet the kids. And I'm old school with it. I think internet is great, but it's not everything. And I think so many people are on it now. So many things are missed. Do you know what I mean? It's like people aren't getting the amount of likes they used to, because you post something and it could literally be gone if that person's following thousands of people. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you gotta sometimes just go to people and go, yo, like the kids are here, like meet them, take a picture, get an autograph, all of that stuff, and really make this engine big. The soundtrack we've got, which has been done by SOS, Mikey and Mo. Samuels, and they're doing the soundtrack, and it's gonna have like your Wretches on there, Stormzy, and everybody. Like, I want the scene behind it. And then you got a comedy tour that we want to do with all the comedians in the movie as well. So there's so many outlets to create money from this, and then the film comes out. You know what I mean? So that we're talking to distributors now, and they'll be stupid not to sign this. I genuinely feel like they'll be stupid not to sign it, but it will give us a very good indication of where the scene's at.
Does the film got a certificate?
12. We wanted 12.
We want it to be 12.
Yeah. That's why I had to lose all the Fs.
All right.
All
No F words.
The Fs have to go.
all the Fs. All the Fs had to go. A couple of shits are in there, but Fs had to go.
Shit's okay. A shit's okay. Couple shits for a 12.
Yeah.
No Fs at all.
No Fs. No
I think
Fs.
some PGs have got shits in them.
Yeah.
Really?
It's parental guidance.
Okay.
But yeah, the F words probably definitely have.
Yeah, because you just limit yourself then. Do you know what I mean? And does the Fs make the job better? No.
What about clarts? Are they allowed in film? Do they get picked up? Clarts?
And there's no nudity, I can imagine.
No, but there. I'm trying to think. There's kissing.
Or sexy.
There's.
Is sex scene allowed? Sex scene?
Nah. Sex scene.
Implication of a sex scene, is that allowed? Like kissing and then waking up the next day?
That's
Yeah,
probably
no,
cool.
that's fine. I think that's
cool.
fine. Yeah, I think you see your parents wake up the next day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Some people saw more. Some people traumatized.
I'm sorry for your eyes, Marcus. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think overall, and I had an international eye on it, as I said. So you know, not too many fams, and you get me those.
Okay.
I think even as us as British people, when we hear that, we feel a little bit. It's like, it's too much. Do you know what I mean?
It's
It's
obvious.
It's just
feel
too
like they're
much.
saying, what's going on? Fam.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
someone did that thing on YouTube where they took all the bloods from KillABit and just put them together. So it's like blood.
No way.
It's like 12 minutes of blood.
You see what I'm trying to say? And I feel like it makes me cringe a little bit when I hear that. And I want America to just be able to watch it, get it, and be in and understand that role, like, because they're gonna be shocked.
Yeah.
They're gonna be shocked and be like, yo. And I genuinely feel like if they like Attack the Block, they're gonna love this.
Wicked.
They're gonna love this.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Especially for my part.
Don't do that.
Ace's face.
Do this when I'm out.
Bro, I'm gonna be in the IB.
disappointed.
I'm gonna be in the IB for a sequel, fam.
Kojo's just gonna cut me out if I keep talking this.
Cutting room
Marcus
floor.
played a car hire salesman that will not be moving to IB for
Yeah,
ladies
he's not
and
gonna be an
gentlemen.
IB for.
Yeah, he's not. He's like,
No,
yo,
people need
I'm
hire
hiring
cars.
boats now.
People need hire cars.
I'm hiring
People need hire
yachts
cars
now.
and IB for Kojo.
I'm hiring yachts now, babe.
Peds.
I'm hiring peds in here, quads.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are writing part 2 as we speak.
Nice,
right now,
nice.
so.
But yeah, thank you for spending all this time. We've
Big
killed
up, man.
way more than an hour.
Oh,
But it's
hold
been
on,
well
hold on.
worth it though, Kojo.
I
man.
appreciate you guys, man.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for the
having me,
bring-ins for myself and obviously on Ace's behalf as well. But
Yeah.
man, just bruv, when the films drop in, come in with the boys.
Yeah.
And we'll do this again.
For sure. Yeah, there's gonna be a mad like media promo run. We're gonna do something that again, like just to wrap this up, like I even said to Sheridan, man, listen, we might just not even need a deal. And that's why I don't want to be afraid of like owning our content. You know what I mean? It's like we always go to someone else for it, and I'm like, if we create that buzz that's so mad, you know, I was watching Bath's interview.
Yeah.
On Not For The Radio. And he was talking about that moment where Chip was so hot, and it was like, yeah, like the label gave him the big marketing, and it went platinum. But he was like, half that, we would have been millionaires.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? But he wanted the deal. He wanted to get signed. And those are sometimes, you know, you got to take calculated risks sometimes. And I feel like if you're building organically, doing radio, everybody came to me when they wanted to promote their films. Some people had paying PRs, but they had no promotion. There's movies that you've heard about a lot. You didn't even know that was out. Do you know what I mean? We're going in on this. Like one thing, the easy part starts for me now because getting the film over the line is hard. You know what I mean? But once it is done, I make noise with anything that I do. You know what I mean?
You got the right cast as well that are gonna make noise,
yes.
and I've got the backing to make noise, and their backing's gonna make noise, and so you probably could do it on your own.
But this is what I'm trying to say, and I feel like there's no reason to do a crazy screening, and just be like, "Bow, it's on iTunes right now, get it right now." After the screening, and everyone in the room's tweeting it.
That's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? And all the people on the soundtracks tweeting it.
Yeah.
Come on, look at Stormzy's on a freestyle right now.
A freestyle
and
that's getting
Capital
charted.
have to play it.
Wow.
Capital have to play it.
Madness.
They have to.
Do you know what I mean?
Before we get out of here,
Yeah,
Kojo, we do something called Killer Question. I threw that out there a little while ago. That's why I was tweeting. I wasn't being rude to you, bro. I promise.
Right, cool.
Just
You're the only one here with reception anyway.
Is it?
Man, he even shared the Wi-Fi code.
You could have
That's why he put the Wi-Fi code in his pocket, you know. But man typed it in his pocket so no one.
You could have tethered off me. You know what? We're in a brand new studio today.
We've
never been here before.
We can't prove it.
As well, the Wi-Fi password's on the wall if you're a future guest. But just a couple more Wolverhampton. She actually got in contact on the Facebook, and I wanted to ask this as well. She goes, "Kojo, you're always here and there. When do you find time for women?"
Wow.
I don't know if she's asking directly. Let's look at the picture. Maybe I won't show you that.
Look at the picture. Do you know what? Like, there's always time. There's always time. People, let's not get gassed out. When you tell people you're busy, it's according to whoever wants your time, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can have all the time in the world if you really like someone. But for me, I'm now at the stage where I spent so much time on my career that I don't as much anymore. So I make more time. Like, I'm the only person in my immediate family with no kids. Do you know what I mean? So now I got to have that side of my life that I have to have now because it gives me another chapter to my comedy.
Okay.
I want to do a new special that I'm planning to do next year and just be talking about the same old stuff. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And I have to have something new. And I'm doing a Hammersmith Apollo next year, and that's going to be my best special, I believe, so far. That is going to be, because that would be like where I'm at spiritually, but it will also be where I'm at in my life as well. And I hope that there's a next level to me. You know what I mean?
So nice. If you're a good-looking lady out there, Kojo's looking for kids.
Looking to breed up the place.
Look at the breedings. Look at the breedings.
I got my family. They're coming out rapid as well. So I'm trying to get with a twin. You know what I mean? Come on, I got asthma, man. You gotta make this.
Right,
the probables.
Let's wrap this, Kojo. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, guys, man.
Cheers.